Welcome to Weddings Unveiled, the podcast designed to help you build a productive, profitable wedding or event business. Here's your host, Angela Profit.
Hi, y'all. It's Angela Profit, your event and productivity therapist, coming to you from the heart of Music City in Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Weddings Unveiled, professional tips and secrets on wedding planning and event design, where we take you behind the scenes of our past experiences in the event industry, what we have learned from them, and how they have made us stronger. This podcast will help you grow a productive and profitable business to launch you into success within the hospitality industry. Today, I'm joined by the best communications and event consultant in the business, Alison Burry.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for having me, Angela. I'm so excited to share some of our past experiences together. We have definitely been through some unique situations over the years. What are we discussing today?
Well, today we're going to talk about new technology and one specific technology that has recently come out and really what I learned from it and how I could do it better.
Well, tell us the story. What happened?
Oh, well, there's always a story. So we had a client that loved these specific movies with George Clooney, and I'm not a movie person, so I really didn't know what like 007 was, so I'm like Googling all these different things, and one thing, there was a specific scene where she wanted like this LED dance floor, which I was so not familiar with, not yet anyway, and so I'm like, well, that looks really expensive, and I knew what their budget was, but I priced it out, and she said that was the one wow factor that they wanted to pay for. It was really, really important to them, and it was going right in the middle of the floor plan, right in the middle of everything, and it was going to be really cool. So since I had not used it before, though, I contacted the vendor that I thought would be the appropriate vendor, and he told me he didn't have that dance floor, but he knew someone, so basically he sub-rented it from someone, and I guess I allowed him to like take control of it, and this is why I'm now a control freak. So I trusted that he would communicate everything over to that company. So they get there to the venue, and sidebar, like the venue is all glass, and we're setting up in the middle of the afternoon, so it's super bright outside. The sun's beaming down, so it's not like we could exactly test this dance floor to make sure that the colors were going to be perfect. But the bride and the groom were very, very specific about the dance floor and the colors and what it was supposed to look like. And I am familiar with the DMX board for uplighting and how it can change colors and, with the click of a button, it shouldn't be that hard. Well, it doesn't really work that way with the LED dance floor. So I just trusted the guys that were setting it up, and apparently they had to leave, go back to the warehouse, and come back. And when they came back, it wasn't in time for the first dance. So now it's nighttime. Guests are there. I don't have time to test the LED dance floor. So he said, when they get onto the dance floor for their first dance, push this button. I'm like, okay, that's easy enough. I can push the button. He's like, I got to run back to the warehouse, and then I'll be back to check on you and make sure everything's good. I'm like, okay, got it. So, people, this is where you don't trust other people, and you have to test things and familiarize yourself with it. So they come out, they get on the dance floor, I press the button, and what happens? Like, it looked like a 3-ring circus. Like, all these multicolored lights started going crazy. I was upstairs, so I could see from over the ledge, and I was like dying mortified. And I was calling the guy, and he wasn't answering the phone, and then I'm texting him, and he's not texting me back. And so then I called the guy that I originally called to book the dance floor, and I'm like, who are these people? Like, their first dance is totally messed up, and we're going to have to redo it. And so he finally got in touch with one of the guys, and he came back down there like maybe 45 minutes later. And so 45 minutes with a mistake like that feels like 5 hours. And I'm like, the party's going to be over. I mean, we still had 3 hours of dancing. But he did get there, and he did reprogram it. It took a little bit of time, and I had to go down and apologize to the bride and groom and tell them that for video purposes and photography purposes, we wanted to obviously redo the first dance because it was not supposed to be multicolored. So that was pretty much what happened.
Luckily, they were a really sweet couple. So they were kind of, not that there's ever a couple that is a good thing to happen to. We never want things like that to happen. But they were super sweet and very flexible, so they weren't very upset about it. And they, of course, wanted to do it again, too. So they didn't have their circus-themed first dance in the video. But Angela, what would you say your biggest takeaway was from everything that happened that day?
Well, I know that we couldn't set the dance floor up in the venue and test it for multiple reasons. It's a public venue, and with the daylight, it just wouldn't work. But looking back, I wish that I would have set up a meeting, drove to their warehouse, had them set it up, and we should have programmed it at the warehouse like a week before the wedding just to make sure that the settings were correct and they were marked. And then also something I learned is if I'm unfamiliar with the technology, I should not be so laid back with the contact person and be like, yeah, go back to the warehouse, come back in an hour, go get dinner. Like, I just should have said, no, you can't leave, please, because I don't know what I'm doing. But I will tell you, like, experiences like this, we are forced to learn how to work everything, unfortunately. And so it's times like this where I go home and it's 4:00 in the morning on Sunday and I still haven't been to bed, and I'm Googling YouTube videos on, like, how to work LED technology. And that's how I think we've become such technology geeks. But again, we should have tested it.
Yes, we definitely wear a lot of different hats at weddings, but sometimes we have to stand firm, and we definitely learn from that experience of, even though other people want to go eat dinner or go let their dogs out, we're not eating dinner or letting our dogs out either. So we just have to stay there and get the job done. And it wasn't the end of the world, but it definitely was a learning experience. But Angela, can you share with our listeners some of the different products and resources that you have available to help wedding and event planners?
Yeah, you can visit the blog on the website. There's always great articles and resources available there. And you can sign up for the tips and resources that we send out. We also have webinars and live events. So if you visit the website, there's lots of information on there.
Awesome. Well, Angela, thank you for sharing all of your valuable advice with us today. I can't wait for next week to tell more of our incredible experiences together.
And thank you so much, Allison, for joining me. And thank you so much to our listeners for joining us today on Weddings Unveiled, professional tips and secrets on wedding planning and event design. Tune in next week to learn more from our past experiences. If you found this podcast helpful, please share it with other wedding and event professionals. And be sure to subscribe today so you never ever miss the juicy details of Weddings Unveiled. I'm so passionate about helping other event professionals, and with my background in psychology, I appreciate that our best selves develop from real-life situations. Again, thanks so much for listening. Be sure to tune in next week for more tips on how to grow your business. And if you have any questions or unresolved issues that you would like guidance on, connect with us on angelaprofit.com. For additional valuable resources, visit the website, again, angelaprofit.com. Until next time, remember, stay productive and profitable.
You've been listening to Weddings Unveiled with Angela Profit. Join us next time for more insights to help you build a productive, profitable wedding or event business. For more great resources, head over to angelaprofit.com.